start the meeting with any correspondence, Amber? No? Okay. Before we start reading the resolutions, now's the time if anyone has comments about any of the resolutions that are on the agenda, not for the public hearings, but that we're going to vote on tonight. So if anybody has any comments on any of the agenda items. Okay, if not, we'll start the resolutions.
Okay. The town board of the town of Shelter Island hereby directs that a public hearing shall be held on Wednesday, October 11th, 2023 at 6 p.m. to hear any and all persons either for or against a local law entitled, a local law amending Chapter 8 entitled Ethics Code of, to broaden the scope of circumstances when private employment may conflict with official duties, of which provides as follows. And a copy of the law is available. The only change is in section 8-9, private employment in conflict with official duties. It states, no officer or employee during their tenure as an officer or employee may engage in any private employment that may be in substantial conflict with the proper discharge of their duties. And then the new addition is, including but not limited to, when. And then it lists 3 items. So that included but not limited to is the new addition. So the purpose of this local law is to ensure that all private employees, not just the circumstances currently enumerated in the code, does not substantially conflict with the carrying out of official duties of town employees and officers. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Whereas Todd Prager, 78 Conic Avenue, has petitioned the town of Shelter Island for permission to construct a 4-foot by 100-foot fixed dock, construct access stairway from bulkhead to dock, and crossover stairs to beach to the east and west side of the dock. Install a bench facing northwest, install two pile dolphins, and install 2 ladders. Now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to section 53-9, the code of the town of Shelter Island, a public hearing will be held at 6:02 p.m. prevailing time on the 11th day of October 2023 in the Shelter Island Town Hall for all interested persons to be in favor of or opposition to the proposed construction. So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Whereas 58 Tuttle Drive, Shelter Island LLC, 58 Tuttle Drive, has petitioned the town of Shelter Island for permission to remove existing offshore platform, construct a new 40 by 70-foot catwalk leading to a 3-foot by 12-foot aluminum ramp onto an 8-foot by 24-foot float, secured with 2 anchor piling, install 2 new 2-pile 10-inch mooring dolphins, construct 3-foot wide access stairs at landward end of beach. Now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to 53-9 of the code of the town of Shelter Island, public hearing will be held at 6:04 p.m. prevailing time on the 11th day of October 2023 in the Shelter Island Town Hall for all interested persons to be heard in favor of or opposition to the proposed construction. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Whereas 5 Borough Hall LLC, 5 Borough Hall Lane, has petitioned the town of Shelter Island for permission to perform minor repairs to existing dock by redecking 36 feet of the inshore end with open grate decking and the remaining 86 feet of the offshore end with 5 1/4 inch, 5 1/4 inch by 6 inch purple heart decking, remove and dispose of existing 5-foot by 20-foot and 6-foot by 10-foot floats, construct a new 5-foot by 20-foot float and a new 6-foot by 10-foot float in kind in place, replace 3 anchor pilings securing the floating docks. Now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to section 53-9 of the code of the town of Shelter Island, a public hearing will be held at 6:06 p.m. prevailing time on the 11th day of October 2023 in the Shelter Island Town Hall for all interested persons to be heard in favor of or in opposition to the proposed construction. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Whereas Joshua Greenwald, the applicant of One Pandion, requested a variance from the 6-month moratorium on the processing and approval of special permits by the town board in connection with applications for one-family dwellings and accessory structures with a square foot living area, SFLA, greater than 5,999 square feet. Whereas on July 18, 2023, and continued on August 15, 2023, public hardship hearings were held where the applicant was heard as to why, despite the moratorium, the town board should continue processing his special permit application for 6,983 SFLA or the inclusion of 1,200 square feet of living space into an accessory barn structure. Whereas the applicant stated at said hearings that the primary hardship would be the financial costs associated with remobilizing of the trades if he had to wait longer for a potential approval. Now therefore be it resolved that after considering the applicant's request, the town board has determined that the applicant has not met his burden, that the hardship being suffered is unnecessary, as that term is used and construed in New York State Town Law, Section 267-B, parens 2, parens B, and be it further resolved that the subject variance is hereby denied. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Meg's
So it's-
accused herself. Yeah.
4-0 and 1 recusal.
Right.
Be it resolved that Kyle Burns is hereby appointed to serve as Assistant Recreational Leader at a rate of $20 per hour, retroactive to September 8th, 2023. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Whereas pursuant to Section 31H of the Public Officers Law, a town officer must sign and file a constitutional oath of office within 30 days after the term of office begins. And whereas Scott Campbell was appointed to serve as member of the Deer and Tick Committee, and whereas Mr. Campbell has not yet signed or filed said constitutional oath of office, and whereas the town board desires to have the aforementioned person serve the town of Shelter Island in their designated capacity, now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby appoints Scott Campbell to the Deer and Tick Committee for a term to expire on June 24th, 2026. And it is, actually Dr. Campbell, Dr. Scott Campbell, and we're lucky to have him. He's really an outstanding addition to, has been on the Deer and Tick Committee for a good long period of time and is the authority on tick-borne disease and really is, couldn't function without him in terms of ticks. So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Whereas a vacancy exists on the Green Options Committee, and whereas the town liaison and chairman of said committee have advertised for and interviewed applicants, now therefore be it resolved that Christina Colvin Herman is hereby appointed to serve as a member of the Green Options Committee for a term to expire on September 19th, 2026. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Whereas James Reed, Chief of Police, has requested permission to auction off the following item through municipal starting October 2nd, 2023 at 1800 hours and ending October.
Oh, wait.
0800, yes, sorry. Messing up the numbers today. And ending October 13th, 2023 at 1600 hours. A 2016 Ford Expedition, VIN number 1FMJU1GT8EF50361. Mileage 134,708 miles. Be it resolved that said request is hereby approved. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Whereas 138 Productions, Kelly Jacobson, 37 Van Dyke Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11231, has requested a filming permit for September 21st and 22nd. Whereas, with a rain date of September 25th and 26th, 2023,
They confirmed it's the 21st.
They did, so it would be the 21st, 22nd. 52 Peconic Avenue, whereas filming crew consists of 40 people, 3 box trucks, 4 shuttle vans, 15 crew cars, and potentially 1 to 2 motor homes. And whereas said application has been reviewed by the police department and highway department. And whereas the police department has advised that the majority of the vehicles should be parked on the location property, 52 Peconic Avenue, especially large commercial type vehicles. Vehicles parked off location property, if any, on the public roadway should be parked on the shoulder of the road in the direction of travel and should not obstruct normal roadway usage. The police department supports the use for parking only of the town landing at the intersection of Peconic Avenue and Brander Parkway to promote vehicular safety and reduce congestions. The highway department advised that there must not be any obstructions on the roadway or walkways during the filming, and all garbage must be picked up in the area. Now therefore be it resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to issue the aforementioned filming permit upon receipt of the following fees. Major filming application fee, $1,500. Daily filming fee times 2, $4,000. Rush fee, $3,000. Cleanup deposit, $1,000. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the New York Department of Taxation and Finance has issued a notice of vendor collection credit to the town of Shelter Island for the period ending February 28th, 2023, and the amount of $68.49. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to transfer the sum of $68.49 from the trust and agency account to general account. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Whereas the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance has issued a notice of vendor collection credit to the town of Shelter Island for the period ending May 31st, 2023, the amount of $200. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor here is hereby authorized and directed to transfer the sum of $200 from the trust and agency account to the general account. So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the New York Department of Taxation and Finance has issued a notice of vendor collection credit to the town of Shelter Island for the period ending August 31st, 2023, in the amount of $145.49. Now therefore be resolved that the supervisor hereby authorized and directed to transfer the sum of $145.49 from the trust and agency account to the general account. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Be it resolved that the supervisor is hereby directed and authorized to expend the sum of $2,500 from the A3120.491 PD contracts account to All Traffic Solutions. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Be it resolved, supervisors hereby authorized and directed to expend the sum of $48,111 from A9025.800 LoSAP account to Glen Falls National Bank and Trust Company and sent to Penflex Actuarial Services LLC for the 2022 contribution for the Length of Service Awards Program of LoSAP for the volunteer ambulance workers. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Be it resolved that the following budget transfers are hereby approved. $375 from A1220.200 supervisor equipment and $500 from A1220.491 supervisor service contracts to A1220.484 supervisor office and miscellaneous, $1,805.90 from A1990.400 contingent to A1355.484 assessor's office and miscellaneous, and $10,000 from the B fund balance to B8020.497 planning board professional services. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Be resolved that 2023 general claims number 1576 through 1707 in the amount of $127,644.64, and the 2023 highway claims number 151 through 167 in the amount of $32,048.73, and the community preservation fund claims number 14 through 16 in the amount of $8,829.36 are hereby approved for payment as audited. The supervisor and/or any town board member is hereby authorized and directed to sign the approval for payment of the same. So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this time, we're going to recess the town board meeting. Have a public hearing on the approval of the Shelter Island Fire Department to incorporate as the Shelter Island Fire Department Incorporated, not-for-profit corporation.
I'm going to recuse myself because I'm the treasurer for the fire district, which oversees the fire department.
Technically, you know both, so, but if like, you're covering
Yeah,
yourself.
I'm just, yeah, I'm
Right.
just,
Yeah,
like to be perfectly.
yep,
Someone text me when you're done.
yes.
On the request of Shelter Island Fire Department for the approval of the town board of the plan of Shelter Island Fire Department to incorporate as Shelter Island Fire Department Incorporated, a not-for-profit corporation.
Stephen, quick summary?
Yeah, again, as Madam Clerk said, the fire department wants to incorporate as a not-for-profit, and a condition precedent to that pursuant to New York State not-for-profit law, section 404, sub F. The town board has to approve of said incorporation, and part of that is having a public hearing on that. So that's why we're here tonight, to have that public hearing.
Okay, anybody have any comments on this or questions? I know we have the, Stan, are you the attorney or the counsel or the,
For the fire department.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the attorney for the
Okay.
Shelter Island Police Department.
okay, yeah, anything you want to say?
I just wanted to thank all of you for considering this matter. I'd like to thank the town attorney for his assistance in this matter, and we hope for your approval. And if there are any questions, I'll be glad to take them.
Any questions from the board?
And I must say, council, for the fire department was very good, very prepared, and stayed right on top of us to make sure this occurred. So he did a great job.
Great. Okay. Any questions from the audience?
Thank you.
Any questions from the Zoom audience? Okay, we're gonna close that hearing then. We're gonna open the hearing on the Daniel and Mara Hockman, 80 Peconic Avenue bulkhead application. Amber?
Text her.
On the application of Daniel and Mara Hoffman, 80 Peconic Avenue, for permission to remove and replace in place and up to 6 inches higher, approximately 114 linear feet of existing timber bulkhead, plus or minus 24 feet vinyl return in place of and up to 6 inch higher than existing 12-foot return, and 12-foot wood retaining wall, and backfill with approximately 15 cubic yards of clean sandy fill to be trucked in from an approved source. Remove and replace in kind in place existing 3-foot by 6-foot wood steps off bulkhead.
Everyone may see?
That was approved.
Unanimous.
Unanimous.
You may say, yeah.
It was no break.
Anybody have anything on this one?
Jim, did you, sorry, Rob Herman, Event Consultants. Jim, did you have any questions or did you want me to provide any information on this? A pretty just straightforward bulkhead replacement application.
Yeah, we were all good with that. The committee had no problem with this.
Great.
Okay. Okay, if there's no comments on this, we'll close this hearing. And we will reconvene the hearing on the Big Ram LLC dock application. We don't have to read it. It's a report from the waterways.
Yeah.
No, this is to be adjourned.
Yeah, I know, but
Oh.
we still have to get
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
especially.
Just a footnote that the chairman Needham had recused himself from the discussion and from the vote. The committee voted, God bless you, to approve this application without a problem. And
Okay,
that was done on August 7th, by the way, not the September 11th. That was done August 7th, 2023.
okay, so this is still pending the WMAC vote. So we're gonna adjourn this until October 11th.
Actually,
On September 11th, there was a request made. Yeah,
oh, okay.
on September 11th, the request was made of the applicant, which Jack is here is representing, I think.
I thought the WMAC had seating.
They do. But they've requested from you. Do you,
Yes.
you have it?
Yeah.
Do you need me to read it? No? Okay. Pending more information from the
They
applicant.
got all the information now.
Yes,
I don't know if
they submitted the revised plans,
Yeah, they have everything.
but
They
the
have the survey,
hard
they got the
copies
stake,
and then.
yeah, everything's, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so they just have to meet on October.
Okay, so we're gonna adjourn that one. We're gonna reconvene the hearing on American Direct 2 Shorewood Court dock application. Everyone may see.
What's the name on that?
Hogan?
Hogan.
Oh, on Hogan, okay, sorry. The existing docks are non-conforming. The proposed changes were not in kind and in place, and we did not decrease the level according to the committee of non-conformity. So therefore, the WMAC requested to submit more conforming proposal and table the application. That was done on August 7th. And then again we met on September 11th. Majority of the committee would agree to trade the removal of the existing unused dolphin piles for the installation of the new reinforcing splashboards. Majority of the committee disapproved to legalize the existing float. Right, Jack? Is there anything?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to discuss with you guys, if you're gonna.
Okay.
So in the meeting, most of the guys agreed that we could remove the 2 large marine dolphins, it's a -4, and then put in the splashboard. We're just gonna fix the whole lift. The question was the float. The float's only gonna be in place for about, 5 months out of the year, then it'll be stored on the boat lift. When the boat's not there, it's gonna be up out of the water on the lift. The float's a safety factor. I mean, there's young kids and, Mr. Hogan's, over 60 now. he's getting older. So the float is just gonna be tied, no piling, holding in place, it's tied in place inside the L to make it easier for the access his boat. So that was the reason for the float. I don't know when the float showed up. I have no idea. It's been there as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
So that was just the matter that had to come to you guys. But it seemed like the committee predominantly thought the splash board was fine with the trade-off of the pilots. It was just you guys gotta make the decision on the float.
So, just so, because this is a reconvening, we didn't read it, what are we applying for and what is the WMAC recommending?
So to what Jack just spoke to, there is an existing float that was installed without benefit of clergy.
Right.
So part of this application is to legalize that, to say that the applicant would like to keep it. And floating docks are safer than fixed docks. I mean, there's no question, it just makes it easier, safer to get on and off a boat. And since it has existed for a long time, and, that is sort of like the argument here, without apparent harm to anybody. And then the other part of the application is that they want to put in splash boards, right?
Yes.
And in that is, I wouldn't say it's a nonconformity, but in exchange, they're giving up some pilings because they won't need them anymore because splash board sort of makes the dock, I think, more user-friendly.
Yeah, it'll all be inside, the usage of the dock will now be inside the L. And I'd like to point out that John Needham voted in favor of this application,
Yeah.
That area gets really rough. You get a lot of boat traffic in the summer with big
Right.
waves. So I can see how it'd be very dangerous to try to get from the fixed dock to the boat with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is, with,
It's,
Just as a point of
It's a challenging
clarification,
location,
splash
right?
boards, were there one splash board or two?
There's already a splash board inside the dock, we're adding the second one.
That's what that's what I thought.
so, I just want to bring this up, and I'm not really sure that Stephen, maybe you can help me with this. To say, if we were all to decide yes on the splash boards, could we have some sort of follow-up that those splash boards are not causing erosion as we think might have happened on the outside of, yeah. Because there is a, I keep on wanting to say echoing, and because in my mind, I'm visualizing the waves sort of bouncing off that.
Deflect off the splash board, they don't make them increase towards the beach.
They don't.
That's not what happened at that other applicant's house.
Yeah.
That whole piece level down Concord Avenue was dropping.
Yeah.
And that's been dropping as long as I can remember. And
Right.
it's worse and worse as the wave reflection is more continuous.
Yes.
But in Mr. Hogan's case, he has a secure beach, all the property is his. In front of that, and it's
That's true.
all stone,
That's what I was gonna
there's a
say.
big stone wall there.
That is,
And it's- So it's all stoned, the dock would only help with
Yeah.
reflection.
Okay. That was my only
And the
question.
double splashboard system, we've also done to other locations.
Yeah.
And it helps. And we just did it last year at Sony's house on.
All right, so just for clarification, what's the WMAC?
They did not agree with legalizing the float except for John, Steve. Right, and they were okay with the splash boards and the removal of the dolphins.
Dolphins.
Did they give a reason why they didn't want to approve the float?
There's one member in particular who doesn't want to reward bad behavior. I mean, which is,
That was almost verbatim with the way it was stated,
yeah,
because it appeared, that was well put, the way you just said it,
The board needs to take into account health and safety.
Well, health, and I was just about to bring that up, Stephen, that's a great point, and we're always concerned about the safety factor, especially with older people with kids, in terms of getting on and off the boat. And plus that float is not going to remain in the water, it's only going to be in the water from, May through September.
So when you build something without a permit, you get caught, you pay a fine.
yeah, we don't have that in this case. I don't think we have a,
Stephen,
we don't have a fine in the code.
it's not applicable.
Well, there was never a violation issued by any entity, any governmental entity at this point.
He's applying for a permit now, but the thing's already there. We went through this on Ram Island, they were applying for a permit, it was already done.
Correct. If it necessitated a building permit, you get hit with quadruple fee or whatever it is. it's not in the code right now that.
For dogs.
In other words, I'm inclined to approve it, but is there any way, you know, it was done without permission, so there's nothing you can do. So we don't reward him, that he, you know, pays what. There's not.
Off the top of my head now, we can close the hearing and, you know, in the interim, we can make a condition of some sort.
No, it's not. I want to make something up. If you can't do it, you can't do it. Okay?
I did pull up the full,
Yeah,
the report,
right.
so I don't know if you want to read it.
Yeah, please.
The existing dock has a floating dock that was installed without the benefit of permit. Only one member approved the application. One member did not approve the application in the entirety. Majority of the committee would agree to trade removal of the existing unused dolphin pilings for the installation of the new reinforcing splashboards. Majority of the committee disapproved to legalize the existing float.
And, you know, penalties for offenses, you know, if the applicant was caught, it's a fine of not more than $250. But there's no enhanced filing fee in this particular situation.
Add it to the list.
Okay.
Yeah, add it to the list of things to
Any
do.
comments from the public on this? Okay, we'll close the hearing. All right.
Thanks, Jack.
And we will reconvene the hearing on the William Birch, 15 Little Ram Island Drive dock application. WMAC?
Yeah, Chairman Needham recused himself from the discussion. The existing dock is non-conforming. However, the homeowner implemented substantial conservation efforts in the past. WMAC requested to move pilings so they don't exceed 50 feet. Move applicants' moorings inshore and to remove the bench area. The WMAC approved the application with those recommendations followed.
Which were on the revised application.
Okay. Any questions or comments on this one? Okay, we'll close that hearing and we will open the meeting to the public.
Should be changed.
Okay, before we open it for comments, we'll do the resolutions. The first one is going to require a roll call. Herself again. Whereas the Shelter Island Fire Department seeks to incorporate as a not-for-profit corporation pursuant to section 404F, New York State Not-for-Profit Corporation Law. Whereas the plan of incorporation of the department describes the department as provided and continue to provide fire protection and emergency services to the town of Shelter Island. Whereas state law requires that the town of Shelter Island approve by resolution plan of the department to incorporate as a not-for-profit corporation after the public hearing. Whereas the department is seeking approval from the town board to incorporate as a not-for-profit corporation under state law to be known as the Shelter Island Fire Department Incorporated. Whereas on September 19th, 2023, public hearing was conducted regarding same. Whereas the town board finds that the incorporation of the department is in the best interest of the operating and affairs of the department and will facilitate the continuation of fire protection and emergency services to the residents of the town of Shelter Island. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board approves the plan of the Shelter Island Fire Department to incorporate as the Shelter Island Fire Department, Inc., not-for-profit corporation pursuant to state law, and be it further resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to execute all documentation in connection with the subject incorporation, subject to approval of the town attorney. So moved.
Second.
Okay, we'll do a roll call. Councilwoman.
Aye.
Councilman.
Aye.
Councilman.
Aye.
Supervisor Silla, aye. 4-0, so moved.
Want me to just?
Amber?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Whereas Daniel and Mara Hockman, 80 Peconic Ave, have petitioned the town of Shelter Island for permission to install, permission to remove and replace in place and up to 6 inches higher, approximately 114 linear feet of existing timber bulkhead, and plus or minus 24 feet of vinyl return in place of and up to 6 inch higher than existing 12-foot return and 12-foot wood retaining wall, and backfill with approximately 15 cubic yards of clean sandy fill to be trucked in from an approved source. Remove and replace in place in kind existing 3-foot by 6-foot wood steps off bulkhead. And whereas a public hearing was duly held on the 19th day of September 2023 for all interested persons to be heard in favor of or in opposition, now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to New York CRR 617.5C2, this application is deemed a type 2 action. Reasons supporting this determination: the proposed bulkhead, 1, will not cause an obstruction into navigable channels or an interference with navigation. 2, will not adversely affect the public's right to use town waters or land under town waters. 3, will not adversely affect shell fishing grounds or other aquatic wildlife which may exist in the immediate area. 4, will not adversely affect the quality of the tidal water, shorelines, or beaches. 5, will not adversely affect the rights of adjacent residents. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized to issue a permit for the aforementioned construction as per specifications filed after said applicant pursuant to section 53-9 of the Code of the Town of Shelter Island, has filed with the town clerk a certificate that the owner has at least $300,000 of liability insurance on the location and operations covered by said permit, a copy of the contractor's home improvement contractor's license, and a certificate from the contractor performing the operation covered by said permit, that said contractor has an owner's contractor's policy issued in favor of the town of Shelter Island for the liability limits of at least $500,000 covering operations of the contractor pursuant to said permit, and be it further resolved that said operation shall be completed within 1 year from the date of issuance of this permit. Said permit is subject to the recommended limitations and any requirements that may be necessary under the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, the Army Corps of Engineers, and any other agencies having jurisdiction. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Whereas William Birch, 15 Little Ram Island Drive, has petitioned the town of Shelter Island for permission to remove bench area, remove 3 two-pile dolphins, and replace in kind in place with 3 two-pile dolphins, install new two-pile dolphin, install 3 northern two-pile dolphins, and install 2 southern tie-off piling as per plan submitted by Costello Marine Contracting Corp. Dated February 21st, 2023, and last revised August 28th, 2023. Whereas a public hearing was duly held on August 29th and September 19th, 2023, for all interested persons to be heard in favor of or in opposition, now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to NYCRR 617.5C2, this application is deemed a type 2 action. Reasons supporting this determination: the proposed construction, 1, will not cause an obstruction into navigable channels or an interference with navigation. 2, will not adversely affect the public's right to use town waters or land under town waters. 3, will not adversely affect shell fishing grounds or other aquatic wildlife which may exist in the immediate area. 4, will not adversely affect the quality of the tidal water, shoreline, or beaches. 5, will not adversely affect the rights of adjacent residents. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized to issue a permit for the aforementioned construction as per specifications filed after said applicant pursuant to section 53-9 of the Code of the Town of Shelter Island is filed with the town clerk a certificate that the owner has at least $300,000 liability insurance on the location and operations covered by said permit, a copy of the contractor's current home improvement contractor's license, and a certificate from the contractor performing the operations covered by said permit. The said contractor has an owner's/contractor's policy issued in favor of the town of Shelter Island for the liability limits of at least $500,000 covering operations of the contractor pursuant to said permit. And be it further resolved, the said operations shall be completed within 1 year from the date of issuance of this permit. Said permit is subject to the recommended limitations and any requirements that may be necessary under the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, the Army Corps of Engineers, and any other agencies having jurisdiction. Be it further resolved that the permit is subject to the following condition. 1, approval of the mooring relocation application to move mooring inshore. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I guess we're gonna discuss the Hogan application on Tuesday. Work session. Okay, at this time, we'll open it to the public for any comments or questions.
I just have one comment.
Sure.
There's a job, the Carroll job on 58 Tuttle Drive. and I was
Wait,
hoping-
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. 58 Tuttle Drive, the
Yeah.
Carroll job. I sent an email out. I don't know if the girl, but I asked the girls to send it out to do a site inspection there. Because it seemed like there was a little bit of confusion of why we were doing what we were doing. And I don't think there's any way we can explain it in this room without going there to actually see it. And I'd be welcome to meet you guys, any of you at any time, on site to take a look at it. It's just, we're not meeting the setback on this particular job. It's just because the nature of the lay of the land, very existing, old stone bulkhead where it's like the right place for the access.
Right.
So they kind of took against that it wasn't in a setback by the word of the code.
6 feet.
Yeah, it was.
But it is worthy of a
Has the
site visit.
WMAC they've been out there?
I don't know.
I don't
know.
I don't know if they have been.
You know, if,
It's not been discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it was like one of these things where the no seemed kind of arbitrary I didn't feel like anybody had actually seen it.
Right,
So I was
right.
looking at a piece of paper, but with an actual lay of the land and, it's one of the old stone bulkheads out there.
Yeah.
It makes sense to go in this location. It would be more damaging to put it in another location. So I just wanted to make sure you guys got my request.
I did.
Okay.
If we take you up on that offer for the town board, I would like to invite the members of WMAC to join us.
Right.
Just so that they get an opportunity to look at it as well.
And Stephen, if we all choose to go on the same day, we then have a quorum, do we need to,
No, it doesn't have to be publicly, but you shouldn't talk about the application. You can go together and observe, but you shouldn't have any conversations. You can, like,
The Jack and
amongst yourself, no, yes, he can do the talking, but you should be
Yeah.
talking amongst yourselves about the application.
All right, so we'll coordinate with the WMAC, we'll all come together. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else have any comments or questions? Okay, I'm gonna make a motion, we adjourn.
second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thanks, everybody.